Hi, I'm doing my essay on the 1991 Rodney King beating. Basically what had happened was Rodney King was pulled over and then forced to get out of his car and was beaten by four police officers with some surrounding the area as well watching. He was reportedly beaten over 50 times with a baton and then brutally kicked as well. This whole you know, event was filmed by, someone's just handheld video recorder, and then the next day that person sent it to the local news station, and then it just spread across America like wildfire. And basically, this event took a turn and really kind of changed American history for the races of blacks and whites. But I've also found out through my research other races as well, such as American Chinese. There were riots that happened and protests and all these, kind of different things centered around this video and this beating. So I'm going to show a little clip of it to start.
The three police officers facing felony criminal charges were among a group of 15 who stopped a 25-year-old black man last Saturday night, then beat him, kicked him, and clubbed him, unaware that an amateur photographer was recording the incident on videotape.
Okay, so for my first article that I wanted to show you guys, basically it's this poll that was taken, this survey on different questions that was then split up between whites and blacks and kind of what their response was. One of the questions that I found really interesting was this first one here, and how it was asking whether the people thought that the police officers should be found guilty or innocent. Whites and blacks both agreed the most that the officers should be guilty. I did find it interesting though that there were a lot of whites that didn't know about the incident, more so than blacks. There was also a question, oh yeah, this one right here, asking if they feel like blacks cannot get justice in the country. Whites agreed that, agreed with that, and then, or sorry, blacks agreed with that, and whites disagreed with that. And I just found that really interesting. I kind of want to dig a little deeper into that and seeing, the reasoning behind that. There's just a lot of great little survey type things in here that I want to read up on and probably be used in my essay. I really also wanted to find a perspective on someone who thought that the police officers should have been found innocent, and I did. I'm going to still look and see if I could find a couple others, but this one pretty much is talking about how, if this whole thing didn't come about, 58 people in the riots wouldn't have been killed and the country wouldn't be out $16 billion. That money would still be in the economy. He was saying how Rodney King, after this, event took place, was found to be broke and put, arrested multiple other times. He was an alcoholic and abuser, and there's just kind of all this stuff how, I think pretty much is disagreeing that everyone really was feeling like he was this sort of, I don't know, like racial movement kind of person. And then in this article here, it's more contrasting that, and how the author talks about, even though he doesn't fit the mold that you read in school about civil rights leaders, he still very much so played a huge role in doing so. He called for peace during the LA riots, which was an example of courage and leadership in a time of turmoil. So it's interesting definitely reading kind of the different perspectives given. Something else I found really interesting that I'm definitely going to include in my essay is this article on Vincent Chin. Basically, what this is kind of shedding light on is the Korean Americans and the Asian Americans during the riots, and how they had to, defend their stores and businesses during this, because of the violence and looting that was going on. And I guess that this Vincent Chin guy here was killed by a 42-year-old white Chrysler auto worker. And it's just interesting to hear kind of from the Chinese Americans how they didn't really feel like this was ever something that was brought to America's attention. The Chin family never got any really support or money from America through the situation, even though it was during the riot. So it's just kind of interesting getting that third perspective. And I really want to, kind of view more of like the white, the black, and probably this Chinese American perspective. So that's kind of what I have so far. I feel like this is a really important event in history in terms of, blacks gaining more rights and being treated more equally, and kind of how whites viewed the situation. So yeah, I just, want to obviously do a lot more research. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say. If you have any thoughts, please add them. I'm still in the rough sketches of my whole essay. But thank you for listening. Bye.